What is up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be the second installment to my fall drugstore makeup series, which I am so excited about. If you're new here, I do tend to film a ton of fall drugstore makeup looks around this time of the year. And for today's video, I really wanted to keep things simple, classic, and just straight to the point. I'm also going to create a look without the use of false lashes. I do realize that false lashes aren't as user-friendly as I would like to think, so I really wanted to do something that was going to be very, very easy for you guys to follow along with at home. So if you guys love that, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. It is completely free, and I mean, if you love beauty videos in general, this is a place you're gonna want to be. Don't forget to also click that bell so that way YouTube will notify you when I upload. I do tend to upload every Monday and Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Except for this week, my schedule's a little off track, but in the next week or two, I'm gonna be back on schedule and we're gonna be pumping out those videos at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So definitely do that. And without further ado, I'm gonna zoom you in just so that way we can beat this face. So let's get into it. All right, so we're zoomed in, we're ready to go. I did already prime my eyelids and do my brows off camera. Let's jump into the eyes. Now, when picking the eyeshadow palette for today's video, it was really important that I picked a palette that was easily accessible, meaning you can walk into a store today, pick it up, take it home, and recreate this look. And the palette of choice is the ColourPop Nude Mood Palette. You can find this within Ulta beauty stores. So while you can't pick it up at a CVS, Walgreens, Walmart, it is very easily accessible because Ulta Beauty does carry this in stock in their stores. I really love the Nude Mood palette. It is so incredibly beautiful. I have used this before on my channel, and I think that this palette is going to be perfect for fall. You can create such a beautiful bronzy look. You can create an all matte look. I'm pretty sure I may keep things matte and classic today. I do want to start off with the shade right here. It is called Bare to Wear. By the way, I did not get my nails done. These are press-ons. I literally needed to do something because in my last video they looked so crazy, but I am going to take this in my crease, and this is going to be our transitional shade. I'm just going to rock it back and forth. The brush I'm using is by Morphe. This is an M441, and I'm just going to go in big old circular motions and just get it in there. All right, the next shade I'm gonna take is All Natural, this one right here, and I'm gonna use that same brush. I'm gonna use a little bit of this to just slightly deepen up my outer V. So I'm just gonna kind of pat it, tap it, and then just kind of buff it and blend it in right over here. And this is just gonna create a little bit of dimension without getting too crazy. Now for me personally, I love ColourPop eyeshadows because they are so incredibly pigmented, blendable. I just feel like they're very, very easy to work with, and I feel like for the price point, you can't really beat it. I want to say this palette right here retails for around 12 bucks, and the quality is unreal. So you can definitely see the dimension I created there with that color called All Natural right here in the outer part, and then the shade called Bare to Wear right here in the crease. I feel like it has a really, really beautiful gradient effect, but I'm gonna amp things up a little bit. This is a fall look. What did you really expect? I'm gonna take the shade right here. It's called Mugged Off. It is a really, really beautiful warm tone brown, but I'm gonna switch brushes. I'm gonna use a little bit more of a smaller and concentrated brush. This is a Morphe M507. If you guys don't have this in your collection, trust me when I tell you, it is a brush you need simply because it's perfect for precision blending. I'm really just gonna take this right here closest to the outer V, and I'm gonna kind of pinch my eye just to really, really concentrate it and create more of like a cat eye effect. I don't want to drag this in too far, which is why I did switch over to a smaller brush, and I'm just gonna place it here and then just go in small circular motions to blend. This makes such a difference, let me tell you. Literally cannot do my makeup without this brush. Then I'm gonna switch over to a smaller M514 by Morphe, and then I'm just gonna go in big circular motions. This is really just going to buff and blend out that color in a really, really nice diffused way. Now, because I will be working with like a bold mulberry lip for today's video, I do want to implement a little bit of this shade right here. It definitely has red undertones to it as compared to Mugged Off. This one is called the Cocoa, and I'm going to take it on that M514, the smaller blending brush by Morphe, and I'm just going to slowly just start working this in the outer V. I feel like it's going to create such a beautiful effect to this eye look. It's just going to bring in a different color and a different amount of warmth. Ooh, I'm literally so obsessed with the way that this look is turning out. I really want to keep things matte. What do you guys think? I may just tap on a little bit of the shade right here called Bluffin'. It is that really, really nice cream color. And I'm going to take it on my finger actually. And I'm just going to lightly tap a little bit of this onto my eyelids just to bring some brightness into the look. I'm not going to cut my crease or anything like that because I do want to keep this very simple, user-friendly, and just like classic. And I want the day-to-day girl or boy to be able to create this look at home. But that is beautiful. So after tapping that shade all over the lid, you can definitely see how much brightness is added to the overall look, and I'm high-key, low-key obsessed. I do want to go in with an additional shade from within the palette. This one is called Moody. It's a darkest shade. It is a really, really pretty like espresso brown, and I kind of sort of want to create like a faux brown liner just because I feel like that will look really, really pretty and soft with this look. And because I'm not going to go in with false lashes, I don't want to do anything too crazy. So I'm going to take an angled brush and then I'm slightly going to carve out a wing. Now, I do get a little bit of fallout with this eyeshadow, but honestly, I don't mind because I typically do my eyes before I do my base makeup. But if you guys are struggling with fallout within palettes and you like to do your base makeup first, I definitely recommend going in with something called shadow shields. I will actually have them listed here on the screen. You can find them at like Walmart. I want to say even like CVS and Walgreens. So I'll have those listed down below. I used to use those a bunch in the past, but because I do tend to do my eyes before my base, I don't feel like they're really necessary for me right now. Now that both wings are done, I'm going to clean up the fallout underneath my eyes, and I'm just going to use a piece of the Patrick Star One Size makeup wipes. I do like to cut them in half because they are so big, and I'm just going to clean up this wing as well and just create a really, really nice clean canvas so that way we can start working on the base. Now, usually I would go in with mascara, but I'm going to hold off a little bit until I have my base makeup on and my powder, because sometimes I feel like when I do mascara and then do powder, they can get a little dusty and crusty, so I definitely don't want that. I'm going to start off with a hydrating face primer though. I'm going to use this right here by Believe Beauty. This is the Pretty and Primed Hydrating Primer. I do really like this for moisture. It doesn't really provide me with like any longevity as far as like keeping my makeup on longer, but again, I do really like this for hydration. And typically during this time of the year, every single year, my skin gets so dry, so I do like to take the extra steps to really hydrate and moisturize, especially with a hydrating face primer. Also gonna put some on my chin, and clearly I am a fraud. I did have a little bit of concealer on before starting just because my acne down here is really red and inflamed, and it just honestly was not something pretty to look at, so I covered it up. No shade, no shade. I am in a double prime. You guys know how I am with priming. I'm going to go in with the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. This is, again, one of my favorites. I put a pretty big dent in it, but this has honestly lasted me so long. I do really like to focus it right here in this area, and then I'll just work it in with my fingers. This really helps fill in my pores and really just smooth out any uneven skin texture. For foundation today, I will be using the Wet n Wild Photo Focus foundation, but the dewy version. This is literally one of my favorites. I will be using the shade Soft Beige. Now, I know in my last drugstore makeup video, I used the foundation by Physicians Formula, the Healthy Foundation. I literally had no idea they were discontinuing that. I am literally so sad. That is one of my favorite foundations of all time. If you guys have tried that foundation, let me know down below, like, when did they announce that it was discontinued? I'm, again, so sad. I do like to put the foundation on one side of my face, and then I'll take the e.l.f. Total Face Sponge, which is one of my personal favorite sponges ever. It's so affordable, and it definitely tops any sponge I've tried from the drugstore. I'm just gonna take this and really just pat it all over and just cover up all of the redness and pigmentation I have going on my face. This right here is about 1 layer of the foundation. As you can see, I do have some blemishes still peeking through, but honestly, I don't really mind. If you wanted to build this foundation up to full-on coverage, you definitely could. So I'm gonna go the extra mile. Why not? Fall makeup looks, full-on coverage, full-on glam, like we're all about it. But again, if you don't need as much foundation or you don't want to apply as much foundation, definitely don't. Do whatever it is that you're into. No judgment here. We do not judge. This is just such a happy place and space for us to chit chat and talk about makeup. Who cares? If you like full coverage, soft glam, natural, like, we love it all. We don't discriminate. I think we have a really nice base going. I'm now gonna go in with this stick foundation by Milani. This is actually in a slightly deeper shade than my actual skin tone. And the reason I picked this up a while back is because I was actually using it for cream contour. This one is in the shade 280 Nutmeg. And what I actually like to do with products like these is I will take it onto an angled brush like this. This one is the Pro Foundation number 47 by Sephora collection. And I like to brush a little bit of the product on, and then I'll go in around the perimeter of my face and create natural looking shadows. And this is really great because our face is not all one color. So sometimes when we go in with foundation all over that's one shade, it's kind of like, okay, that's not really realistic. So I like to take this around the perimeter of my face and really just buff and blend it into my foundation for more of a natural looking feel. So I'm also going to take this to cream contour a little bit and just create natural looking shadows. I'm all about this. If you guys have not tried this stick foundation by Milani, it's definitely a keeper. It was one of my favorites for so long when it first came out. It kind of got pushed back in the back of my makeup drawer, but I'm definitely going to be reaching for it a lot, especially during the season, because it is a very, very hydrating formula that doesn't leave my skin looking super dry. And because my skin tends to get dry during the season, it's just the perfect combo for my skin. I'm also going to take some down my jawline as well, but I'm not going to take as much. And the reason I'm doing this is because I don't want it to be like so like bronze up here and then the bottom of my face is just kind of bare. So you definitely want to balance things out. So I like to also take some around my jawline, but make sure it blends very nicely into my neck. You definitely don't want like a horrid foundation line or anything like that. Now, I haven't yet gone in with concealer, and the concealer of choice is going to be the Maybelline Fit Me concealer. This one is in the shade number 15, I want to say. Yeah, number 15 light, and I'm going to take this underneath my eyes to conceal. I read a comment saying that this actually burned some of you guys underneath the eyes. I actually don't experience that whatsoever with this concealer. A concealer I do experience that with is the L'Oreal Pro Glow concealer, but not so much the Maybelline one. I do really love the formula of this, and it is non-irritating for me personally. Now that concealer is locked and loaded, I do want to lock it all down and set it in place. And to do that, I'm going to use this powder right here by the Creme Shop. This is a really, really awesome powder. You can find the Creme Shop. I want to say you can find it in Walgreens and also Target. But this is the translucent powder. I want to say it's a universal translucent powder. And I'm going to use this to set underneath my eyes because if I don't set it, they will literally crease like crazy. So I'm really just going to focus this underneath my eyes. Nothing too crazy. I'm also gonna take some of this powder onto my chin just to really set it in place. As you guys can see, I am struggling with blemishes and stuff, and when I set things down, they tend to stay in place and just last a lot longer in those areas. And I really like to go in with the translucent powder just down the center of my face because that is an area I do tend to get oily throughout the day. But all in all, I'm loving the way that this look is turning out. I think my base makeup is looking so incredibly good. I do want to further powder my face, and to do that, I will be using the Collab powder. This is our Kill the Shine pressed powder. Ugh, so good. On the bottom, it usually comes with like a little sponge, but I lost mine, making it perfect for on the go, but excuse the fact that I lost mine. I will be taking just a big old powder brush, and I'm just going to powder down the rest of my face. I do want to go in with some bronzer. I'm going to use this one by Milani. This is one of my personal favorites. This is the Silky Matte Bronzer, and I'm going to take this around the perimeter of my face to further contour and just add some coverage and color. I said coverage and color, but realistically I mean color, not coverage. So now that I have my base makeup done for the most part, I definitely want to revisit my lower lash line. And really, I'm going to do a cocktail between some of the shadows I already have on my lid. So I'm going to first start off with the shade Cold Mugged Off. And I'm going to take it on a flat definer brush. And I'm just going to push this closest to my lash line just to really connect and bring everything together. I'm going to take a little bit of All Natural to smoke it out, just so that way it's nice and diffused. Because I won't be applying false lashes today, I'm really gonna go the extra mile and really take my time with my actual lashes. So the first step is to go in with a lash curler of choice. I do typically use the one from Revlon that is super, super small, but the rubber part in it actually came out, so I can't use it anymore. I actually have to pick up a new one, but I always like to first start off by curling my lashes, just because I want them to all go in the same direction and I want them to be nice and curled all day long. The next step I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go in with several mascaras just to really enhance my lashes and make sure they look as best as they possibly can. And the first step to that is going in with a lash primer. I'm going to use this one right here by L'Oreal. This is the Voluminous Lash Primer. And what I really love about it is that it's kind of like a push-up bra for your lashes. It's really going to ensure that your lashes stay up and like are pushed up all day long and don't fall. So I'm going to start off by coating my lashes with the primer. They do get a little white. I do actually like to do one eye at a time just because this does dry fairly quickly, and once it starts to dry it's a little hard to comb through. So I'm gonna make sure I have a really, really good coat of the lash primer on. The next mascara I'm going to be using is this one right here by Essence. This is the Lash Princess False Lash Effect Mascara. It is in the waterproof version. And typically when I do just go in with mascara, I do like to use waterproof because I do live in Florida and I don't want it to transfer underneath my eyes at all. So I'm gonna coat my lash with this. And this provides me with so much volume. It is such a great, affordable mascara that I definitely recommend you guys check out. One thing I will definitely say about this mascara is that it does get a little clumpy towards the end, so I definitely don't like to use it all on its own. I actually like to go in with the Revlon So Fierce because the bristle brush allows me to like really separate the lashes. So I'm gonna take this and just kind of comb through to separate. I feel like this is such a necessary step. I know a lot of mascaras, but totally worth it. And I feel like whenever I do wear my real lashes, I really have to take these extra steps to make sure they look like really, really good. So that's just me. If you don't want to take as many steps, just get a strip lash and call it a day. So I'm really, really loving the way my lashes came out with those 3 lash products. I will have them listed down below. Again, I know it's a little much, but I definitely feel like it's worth it to get like such a pretty like natural lash effect. I am gonna go in with a blush. This one is by e.l.f. I'm not entirely sure of the name, but I will have it listed down below in case you guys are interested in it. But it is a really, really beautiful mauve, and I think it's gonna complement our lip color really nicely. So I'm gonna take it on this blush brush by Smashbox, and I'm just going to focus majority of my blush right up here because that's just been my vibe recently. I don't really like to focus it too much on the apples of my cheeks, but more so a little bit higher. I don't know, it's just something I've been into, but definitely do you, boo. Do whatever you're into. After that, I'm also gonna go in with highlighter. This is probably one of my favorite like affordable highlighters. It is the Pixi by Petra Glowy Gossamer Duo in the shade Subtle Sunrise. I'm gonna take the champagne shade and I'm just going to work it right here. I'm not gonna take it on the apples of my cheeks just because I feel like fall makeup looks, when they look a little bit more matte in the center, they just look a lot better. I feel like when you start highlighting the center of your face, it can look a little bit too summery. So I'm only just going to focus this right in this area. By the way, this is a spot on dupe, the champagne side for the Amrezy highlighter by ABH. So if you guys want to check that out, then definitely check it out because ooh, so good and so affordable. So one of the last and final things I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go in with a lip liner. I do want to do a very bold mulberry lip, so I'm gonna use this right here. This is by Koki, and you can't find Koki inside Walmart. I'm just gonna line my lips with these. Now that my lips are nice and lined, I do want to go in with my lip color of choice. This one is by GLAM. This is our Matte Addiction Liquid Lip Color in the shade Out of Breath, and I think it's going to look gorgeous with this look. So I went ahead and zoomed you out. This right here is the final completed look. Honestly, high-key, low-key, very obsessed with the way that everything turned out. I feel like the bold lip really just sets everything off. And I really love the fact that I didn't have to go in with any false lashes. I really love the way that my natural lashes look, and I feel like it just gives off a different vibe. I feel like this is definitely a day-to-day look because not everyone has time to pop on a pair of false lashes. Let me know if you guys enjoyed this easy fall makeup tutorial using drugstore products down below in the comments, and also let me know what else you guys want to see in this drugstore makeup series for fall. I'd love to know. I definitely want to create a playlist with a lot of your suggestions and recommendations, so definitely leave those down below in the comments. Like this video and also subscribe if you guys are new here. I do like to do giveaways maybe about once a week, so if you guys want to win some awesome products, definitely like this video and also watch my last video because I am hosting a giveaway over there. I love you. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video, and until next time, I'll be sure to catch you guys all on the next one. Deuces.